Hello lovelies, how are you today? And welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and I'm the sole proprietor of SAEH Body Butter. And I hope you enjoy the next video. Thank you. Hello lovelies, I'm about to do a rhinestone filled tumbler with this 24-ounce tumbler. This is my first time doing a tumbler this size, so I'm not too sure how many rhinestones I'll need. But what the first thing that I'm gonna do is take my rhinestone application hot iron tool and proceed to put a hole in the tumbler, and I'm just lightly applying pressure and let the heat do the work. And then when I feel it sinking in, I'm twisting it left to right to help it along the way. And once it goes through, I grab my tweezers to grab this part before it hardens again. Oh, this one is being difficult. All right, let me put the iron on it again. Let me try my I don't normally have this much difficulty. It went in as opposed to coming out. Let me try it again. Trying to catch it. I was trying to catch it before it hardened up on me, because even when you melt it, it hardens back up if you don't grab it soon enough. And that's what happened to me. It seemed like one side of the of it wasn't cleared, so I only had half of it cleared. Wow, this is really being difficult. It's this side right here don't want to come apart, and I'm trying to catch it before it goes through the second wall, because if it goes to that, then the cup is destroyed. Okay, it's loose. Now I have to get it out. Whew. That was difficult right there. I've never had that problem before. It's normally quick, smooth, and easy. But anywho, I have my opening right there. So I'm going to put my iron to the side. And let me get my stones together so that we can place in here. Let me get my tape so I can put around it so the stones won't spill either. Okay, I have my tumbler taped off with paper up top so that the rhinestones won't go all over the place. And I'm using a mixture blend. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it's a mixture of colors. So I'm just going to pour that over top, and you can tap them in. It really doesn't take much effort. If they're the right size for the tumbler, they'll just fall in. And the good thing about this particular one, since it's a blend as opposed to an ombre, you really don't have to worry about how the colors fall into the tumbler. And I'll show them to you after I get all of these in. Some people like to use the hand massager, which will vibrate the stones and it help fall into place. I have one, but mine is kind of huge, so it's heavy to hold. I'm thinking about getting a smaller one because it does seem to help. As you can see, that's where I'm at so far, but as you can see, they're kind of like, you know, leaning to one side. So what you can do is just tap your cup to get them somewhat equally distributed. And you have to be mindful of the tumbler that you're working with because the size of your rhinestone matters. Now these are 4 millimeters, these right here, and this is a 24-ounce tumbler. This particular tumbler that I did the other day, this is a 16-ounce skinny straight tumbler, and I had to use 2 millimeters because the 3 and the 4 were too big. So these fit perfect in this 24-ounce tumbler, the 4 millimeter. So I'm gonna go back in, and in this jar I have 8,000 rhinestones. Again, like I said, this is the first time that I'm doing this size tumbler, so I don't know how many rhinestones it will take. So we shall see. I'm gonna bring out my my massager and show you. See how big that is? It's huge. And so sometimes my hand gets tired from holding. But this helps the stones fall in faster. They fall in quicker with this motion. But you got to be careful so you won't crack. You know, you don't want to apply too much pressure of the massager that you crack your tumbler. Okay, that took that pretty good. And let me see how far up are we in the tumbler. If we're halfway up, we're almost halfway up. We're almost halfway up. And as this tumbler goes up, it gets slimmer. So most of your stones are going to go towards the bottom. And again, if you don't have a hand massager, you can tap them in with your hand. It probably only take about 10 minutes. 10 minutes to do this, to fill up the entire tumbler. Now you could use smaller stones in here, like a 3 millimeter, but it will take more stones because they're smaller. Now see, we almost at the top. We are a little more than 3/4 at the top. And as you see, this is real time, so this is not really taking that much time to fill up this tumbler. Okay, so it looks like this will take. I just love how those colors look. Look at that. I love how those colors look. Okay, I'm just tapping it with my hand so they can be easily distributed around the entire tumbler. So I'm going back in with the rest of this. So that was 8,000. Let's see if all of them fit. See if I need to add some more at the top. It looks like we're at the top, and when you get to the top you can take the tape off, but I'm going to pour some of these back into the jar because I can't see. Okay, yeah, we're at the tippity top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tape off, and we're going to work the rest of the stones in. I'm going to get my my weeding tool, just making sure that the tumbler is in view. And this is the hard part, because you have this crowded space up top and you're trying to jam all these stones in, and you're trying to fit the entire bottom of the tumbler. Because you don't want no space or air pockets in there, because once you seal the tumbler and it settles, you would see gaps. So what I've learned to do from experience, my weeding tool is sticky, so it's not helping me. Let me see, where's my and I had 2 weeding tools, but I don't know where the other one is at. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. I learned from experience that after I get the stones in the tumbler and everything appears to be full, I'll put a piece of tape over that opening and let it sit for a couple of days, at least 2 days, before I seal it. That way I'm almost sure that the stones won't settle, and that'll give the opportunity for the stones to settle. And if you have any air pockets, you can go back and force more stones in. Because like I said, if you don't, as it settles, you'll have gaps, visible gaps. So this is kind of the hardest part, because you're trying to stuff as much as possible in this tight space, whereas before everything was falling to the bottom, so it was easier. So you saw how little of a time it took to fill the tumbler up, and this portion right here, getting all the stones at the top, this part right here takes the longest. It probably take double the amount of time that it did to fill the tumbler up. But you want to make sure you do it right, because after you seal it with the UV resin, it's not a done deal, because you can remove that resin. All you have to do is apply some heat. You get a heat gun and apply it, but you got to be careful, because you don't want to melt your tumbler. You apply some heat on that area for a little while, a few seconds, and then use some tweezers, and you're able to pull up that UV resin, and then you can make any adjustments that you need to make to your tumbler, and then reapply. Okay, so everything is jammed right there at that opening. So I'm tapping on the tumbler to try to move the stones back this way, because it's not full, but it won't allow me to put any more stones in, because everything is crowded right there at the opening. So I'm just tapping it, and hopefully you can see right there. You see that space? That space right there. So that's what I wanted, so that I can put some more stones in there. Like I said, this is the most time consuming part, the end. Making sure that this portion is completely full of stones, so you won't have any air pockets. And I'll show you a tumbler that I did that has an air pocket in it. But I really don't think it's an air pocket. I think it was static, and it prevented the stones from moving into that space. So another lesson that I've learned is, prior to me pouring the stones in the tumbler, I use a dryer sheet, and I rub that dryer sheet over the stones to hopefully prevent static. Okay, I got that full, so I must tilt my cup so that I can hopefully create some more space up here. To apply a few more stones. I don't think many more can fit. but we are going to try. I'm looking around the tumbler to see if there is any more air, any more space, but I think we're almost there. Maybe about 10 more stones. Let's see if I can squeeze those in. I really, my favorite craft is rhinestones. Anything rhinestones. My favorite is hotfix rhinestones. And this is my second favorite. Doing these tumblers. Because they're easy to me. My hats go off to the tumbler makers who hand place the stones one by one. I don't have the patience for that, not at all. Now, I think we're done. I'm gonna try a few more. But I think we're done. I don't think that it will accept anymore. We shall see. I opened up some space right there. Okay, I think that is it. I don't think any more stones can fit in the tumbler. So like I said, I'm going to put a piece of tape at the bottom to cover that hole, and then I'm going to turn it right side up and let it sit for 2 days and let the stones settle. So I'm going to estimate that this tumbler took about 7,500 stones. Alrighty, I'm going to grab a piece of this tape that I used, cover up the hole, and then I'm going to turn it right side up. Let's see, let me adjust my light. There we go. I think you can see it better. Isn't that gorgeous? That is just gorgeous. And so my plan is to put rhinestones on the top also, but I haven't decided what color. I think I'm gonna go with that blue It looks like that blue in there is calling out to me, but I think this is so pretty. So this is a 24-ounce tumbler, and they're easy to make. You just have to figure out what size stone each tumbler make. And what I've learned, because my first tumbler that I did, I used 4mm stones, but the cup really only took probably 2mm, and my stones were getting stuck, and I couldn't get them out, and I couldn't get no more in. So what I did was, because I offered 3 different sizes, I would put a stone inside, just one, to see how far down it would fall, and then that let me know what size stones. Now I know these 24-ounce tumblers, they can take 4mm, no problem. And this skinny tumbler, these take 2mm. And let me get the other tumbler that I did. This tumbler, 16-ounce, these take 3mm. But I'm going to show you my air pocket right there. It's not really an air pocket, it's static. And this was the cup that I learned to try to remove the static from the stones. And so far so good. I've tried to put the massager on it to knock the stones down, but that space will not cover up. The stones will not fall in place. So this cup is not all lost, because really you can put a decal right there and cover it from the outside. Yes, they will see it on the inside, but you know, and you can sell it at a discount if you want to. But like I said, I'm gonna let this tumbler sit for 2 days before I seal it with the UV resin. And so I'll bring you back when I get to that state. But I love this cup. Oh my goodness, all those colors in there. And let me tell you, I don't know if you can see it from that point of view, but they are sparkling. Alrighty, I'll bring you back in 2 days, and by that time I've decided what color I want to do the lid. Okay, the tumbler has been sitting for a few days, and I don't see any air pockets in there, so I am going to seal the bottom. This is going to be a 2-layer seal. I'm going to remove the tape, and I should have removed the tape before I put my glove on, so I can grab it more easily. And I'm sure I'll pull up some stones with it, and I'll just try to push them back down in the hole. Alrighty, now I got to get some clear tape to cover the hole, and then we're going to apply epoxy resin, UV resin, over top of that. I'll put a couple of pieces of tape over this. And I like to press down to make sure it's sealed. Have to bring it up to my eyes to make sure that the tape is not coming up. Need to put the flashlight on it. I can barely see. Okay, that is good. I got a good seal with the tape. So let me put my glove back on. And we're going to go down. Like I said, I think that blue is calling out of this mixture. And so I'm going to put this layer of epoxy over. I'm not going to completely fill it up with this. I'm just mainly want to get the entire bottom of this tumbler covered, but mainly this portion right here where the tape is at, so you can't see it. But I don't want to put too much on this because I need to put a label on it, and then I'm going to seal that with a clear coat of UV resin. So I'm just putting enough to cover the bottom. But I don't want too much that it comes up too high that I don't have enough space to apply that clear coat. So I'm going around the rim very slowly as not to make a mess. And I don't want to get any UV resin on the edge. On this edge to create I don't want to create an uneven tumbler. And I like this blue. Well, this blue is mixed with iridescent white, so it got the spark of those other colors, so it will pick up great all the other colors that are in the tumbler. I can see green in here, I can see purple in here, I can see pink. So all the colors that are in that rhinestone mixture is being picked up in this glitter. So I'm almost finished. Okay, that is looking good. So I'm going to tear a piece of my paper towel, spritz it with some alcohol, and just go around the edge of the tumbler to make sure no UV resin came up beyond. Okay, that's looking good. I don't see any air bubbles. But just because I don't see them, don't mean none's there. So I'm going to hit it with a quick coat. Not too long because that's plastic and you don't want it to melt. So that is looking good. Now let me get my UV resin. Ooh. Let me set that to the side and get my UV resin set up. Okay, this is my UV resin lamp, and I have it set up on boxes. I call that my garage, and I'm going to put the tumbler in the middle, and I'm going to hit it for 99 seconds. And I'm going to do that 4 times, and that should completely cure that level, that layer. And then I'm going to come back and put a label on it, and then put in on a top clear coat. So I'll bring you back when this has cured. Okay, it took 4 times of 99 seconds, and it's cured. So what I'm going to do is put one of my labels on it. It's a clear label, and it has the if I can get it. These are my labels. If I can pull one up. Okay, there we go. And basically these are the care instructions. So I'll try to get this in the center as much as I possibly can. Press it down. And where is my popsicle stick? Alrighty. Take the UV resin. Oh, shoot. Take the UV resin, the clear, pour it on top so that we can seal in the label. So the label is serving two purposes. It's the care instructions, so they can't say, oh, I didn't know I couldn't put this in the dishwasher. Oh, I didn't know I couldn't put it in the microwave. Care instructions at the bottom of the tumbler. You let them know your care instructions at the bottom, right? You can still put a care instruction card inside the tumbler and let them know that there's one, a permanent one at the bottom in case they forget. And it also has, you can put your logo on there, right? So that label serves two purposes. So I'm taking this clear and make sure I get to the edges, because you want that label to be completely sealed and protected. You don't want any water, you know, if it's not completely sealed and covered at the edges, you know, you take a chance of water getting in there. So I really can't tell if it is or isn't. So I'm going to get my handy dandy, move you back some, flashlight on my phone. Uh-oh. Hold up. My legs are trying to readjust. See, I shouldn't have moved it. I should have left well enough alone. 1 second. Let me see if I can. Adjust. Okay. Now let me put my flashlight on here to make sure it is fully covered. The UV resin is all around. Yep. So I'm going to take the popsicle stick and make sure it is. See, I have more on that side than I have on this side. Okay, I think we are good. I'm gonna get my torch just in case we have any air bubbles. Just a quick torch. And then I'm gonna put this back in the garage for bursts of 99 seconds. Okay, it's in the garage. I'll do that 4 times, so I'll bring you back when that has cured. Okay, this is the somewhat completed tumbler. I haven't blinged out the lid yet, but look at that shine and that sparkle. Look at those colors. This tumbler looks amazing. I will do a separate video once I complete the tumbler. but this is how it's looking thus far. And let me show you the bottom. This is the bottom. Let me shine some more light on it. Look at that. You see how that glitter and the UV resin turned out? And my label? You really can't see the words, but you know, the person who buys the tumbler will be able to read it. The lighting is just not picking it up, but look at that. Whew. Look at those rhinestones. Look at that sparkle. That thing is lit. I tell you, I love doing these tumblers. And I have over 16 colors. 16 colors. Wow. And all 16 colors is in this tumbler right here. Look at that. I love it. Alrighty, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And that you will give this a try. Alrighty, talk to you later. Bye-bye.